Hello, everybody. It is another live stream here at RLQ. Inside the Mind of RLQ, number 15. I can't believe we're actually at number 15. If this is your first time here, this series I started a while back, and it's about the quotes that I write, and what was going through my mind as I was writing it. The reason why I started this series was because sometimes you may be reading the quote, and you may be wondering, okay, I kind of understand what he means, um, but then you try to figure out, like, I wonder what Roger was thinking about while he was writing it, right? So this series is about that. So I am waiting for people to come in, and I see Sarah. Sarah, you're the first person I see. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my stream. You're the first one. Kelly, you made it. Hi, Kelly. Good evening to you too. I'm so glad you made it, Kelly. And Shell is here. Shell, always here. Glad to see you, Shell. You made it. I hope your headache is going away. Shell is having a headache. She told me earlier through a message. So hopefully you're feeling better. Tracy made it. Two Tracys. My two favorite Tracys are here. Tracy McAdam and Tracy Shepker. Hi, guys. And Narita, you made it. Hi, Narita. Oh my gosh, you guys make me so happy. And Helen, you made it. And Sarah made it too. She was the first person I saw. And you guys are all here so far. If you have watched my last live on YouTube, I did bring two guests. I brought Edie and I brought Natalie, and it's just something I wanted to add to make things interesting, right? Because usually when I do my lives on Facebook, I don't really get a chance to speak to you one-on-one, right? So the special thing, and I love doing this on my YouTube lives, is that I can bring you here on the show, and then we can have a conversation. Because the quote, if you saw the picture of the quote, right, you can read it at the bottom right there. Some dark paths will lead you to the brightest places. I do want to ask you, if you have actually gone through a very dark time, and then you realize afterwards that it actually closed a chapter in your life, but it also led you to somewhere better and brighter, right? So we're going to get into that later on, but I'm going to say, hey, Patty, you made it. Hi, Patty. Patty's another one of my regulars. I love you so much, Patty. Thank you so much for amazing. And Sai made it. Oh my gosh, you're making me guys so happy. Sai, good morning. Sai. Shell says hi, Tracy and Tracy and everyone. Kaylee, just a short good morning from Germany. And Kaylee, I know you were tired, right? And thank you so much, Kaylee, for coming. It really means a lot to me. I know you probably are in bed right now, but you made the effort to come live, and that makes me so happy. And oh, by the way, Kaylee, if you do want to share your Instagram account, because you just opened one, you can put the link here on the chat for people to check out. Her poetry is incredible. So if you want to check it out, please check out Kaylee's link if she does put it there. Patty says, I can't get it on my computer. Sarah, you're so beautiful. Says hi to everyone. You know what? There's one great thing about these lives that I do, is that the community here is incredible. We get this positive vibe. When you'll see more when I start bringing guests on the show, and you can just see that the love that everyone provides here. So if you're at home, or you've been, you haven't been with the most positive people, then hopefully my lives can bring that for you. I think it's really important to be surrounded by positive people, because it does change a lot. Especially if you're going through a time where you don't want to talk to anybody, or you're just talking with the wrong people, right? So thank you everybody here for showing that love and bringing that here on my channel. It really means a lot to me. And oh, by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, there is a subscribe button, so please press subscribe. I think I am like 5 subscribers away from 7.1K. So I know most of you probably have already subscribed already. So Bernadette, you made it. I know it's late for you, Bernadette, right? What time is it there for you, Bernadette? I think you're around the same time as Kaylee, maybe. I think it's like somewhere in the early morning, right? Like 2 a.m. or something like that. Hi, Rhonda. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining. Oh my gosh, you guys are making me so happy right now. And this time, if you watch my live on Facebook, I forgot to bring my water or coffee. And so by the end of it, my lips were turning my lips were dry. I couldn't barely speak. And Patty was telling me, Roger, go get your water and stuff like that. So I did bring my coffee this time. I did not forget. So Kaylee says, thank you, Roger. There isn't that much on my Instagram. Just started it. Okay, no problem. You can still put the link there because if you have at least one post, that's a great start, right? I'm definitely going to check out your Instagram account after the stream. So I can't wait to take a look. And Tracy says, you're welcome, Michelle. I get headaches if the barometric pressure is high or if I'm tired. I think my daughter or someone was telling me that they got headaches. And sometimes it's the weather, right? Sometimes it's the moon. But anybody that's dealing with a headache right now, especially you, Shell, hopefully you get better, get some rest, and drink a lot of water. 1:35 in the morning over here in Germany. That's yeah. No wonder you were going to sleep. It's Sunday too, right? Actually, it's Monday morning for you. Um, so this quote that I wrote inside, some dark paths will lead you to the brightest places. Um, it really pretty much sums up my whole journey, right? Because when I was going through my really dark time, it was really dark. And I thought, and you guys probably heard me say this a lot, that, there was no future for me, right? So I just believed that this dark path that I was taking was never ending, that I was never going to get anywhere, right? But I did not know that, when I started to start healing myself, taking care of myself and loving myself, that I could change the darkness into light, right? And this light became brighter and brighter as I was, loving myself and believing that things are going to get better, right? So, and it's happened a few times in my life, right? Where it just the storm just seems so dark and it was just never going to end. But then at the end of it, somehow, some way, we find a way to overcome it and outlast the rain, right? And then we realize that, yeah, even though yes, it was a very dark chapter, but it feels like there's this new beginning happening, right? That there's these new chapters that and new paths that are opening up for us, right? So I am going to talk about the one thing that really made me believe that that darkness was actually leading me to a brighter place. But I do want to get into the chat again. Kenya, you made it. Hi, Kenya. Love you so much. Thank you so much for joining. It really means so much to me. Shell, I think it's because I am tired and tomorrow is back to school with my kiddos. We had no school due to the weather on Friday. It was virtual. I see. It has been so gloomy here in Toronto, and it's just like I can't wait until summer comes or the sun. I just want to see the sun. That's it. Sarah says, yes, it causes my husband to have seizures from his epilepsy. Barometric pressure. Ooh, that doesn't sound nice. Oh, I hope he's okay. Tracy, oh no, sorry to hear. Hugs. Hi, Sai. Did your niece have her baby? Oh, that's right. Sai had great news last week. She said her niece was having a baby. So congratulations to Sai. Welcome to the new family member. And I hope everything, a healthy baby, and I hope you're happy. And best wishes for your family, Sai, because you deserve it. You're such an amazing person. Yes, Tracy, we have a baby boy. That's great. That's great. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you, Sai. All right, so I'm going to tell you, Kenya says, and some warm weather too, not only sun. I definitely need that warm weather. I really do. So, because when I'm on my Facebook lives, everyone's telling me they're from like Arizona, Australia, and like all these hot places, and I'm just like, I just wish I was there. But I could picture it. I'm not going to feel the weather, but I know it's coming. A few more months, and I'll be able to enjoy myself. I can sit down. I can sit outside on my porch and enjoy the sun. So I'm going to tell you this why I wrote this. Why this actually, this is one of my favorite quotes. It's short, but it means so much. And you guys probably know that story where when I was going through that really, really dark time, and I thought that, and that time when I was just about to give up, I left my house, right? I basically packed my bags. I didn't say bye to anyone from my family. And my goal was just to keep walking and walking until I collapsed. You guys know this story, so I'm not going to get too far into it. So I started walking and walking and walking. And, I looked up and I said, God, show me a sign. Give me a sign that I have a purpose to hear, that something better is going to happen to me, that, that I'm going through this darkness or this dark path because there's a reason for it, right? And then, I was just about to reach this intersection where my sister lived, right? This neighborhood. And that was I was already walking for 4.5 hours straight, right? Nonstop. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I see her and my brother-in-law in the car, and they open the window and they're like, "Roger, what are you doing here?" Right? And I couldn't even answer that because I didn't even know, right? So they took me. I got into the car and they took me back home. But that is when I saw a little bit of that rainbow, right? I saw a little bit of that light that I was searching for so long. And when they were driving me home, so many things were going in my mind. Like, Roger, what were you doing? Well, why were you leaving your family, right? That's basically where all your love is coming from, right? And and almost instantly, a switch turned on in my head, and I told myself that when I get home, I'm going to start making changes because, you know, maybe God sent my sister to come pick me up to take me home because he's telling me that, Roger, yes, you are going through something really dark right now. But when you get home, when you now that you've made your decision that you want to change your life, watch how your life is going to change when you start, taking that time to take care of yourself and to really appreciate your life and be grateful for what you have, right? And as so when I got home, that's exactly what I did, right? And not shortly after that, my basement story occurred, right? You guys know about that. I'm not going to talk about it, but it was just that incident that made me realize that yes, I was going through something really dark, and yes, I almost gave up, and I lost all hope, and I had no faith and everything. But all of a sudden, it was like this path that I was walking towards, right? That direction I was heading, even though I felt like it was a dead end I was hitting, still something good happened out of it, right? So, I believe that I don't know, everyone's journey is different, everybody's path is different. It's some people may be going through it for, a year, 2 years, or maybe even 5 years, right? We just don't know how long it's going to be, right? But during that time, while going along on your journey, somehow, some way, something good is going to happen from it after you've overcome this darkness, right? Bernadette says, "Hi, here in oh yeah, is this Zambia? Zambia, right? Zambia. It's rain season. I prefer rain actually than snow. Because uh, because snow, it's cold. We didn't get a lot, Tracy, right? We didn't get a lot of snow, but I mean, like, actually today wasn't that cold, but it was still was pretty warm today. But I don't like to shovel the snow anymore." Sarah says that's courage wanting to change and the taking steps to do it. Bravo, Roger. Thank you so much, Sarah. Yes, I didn't even realize that, right? While I was walking for that 4.5 hours, right? But I did do a lot of thinking, right? I did do a lot of, even before this time when I actually left my house. I left my house a lot and I took these walks, right? Just to really just think about, my future. I was worried about my future, I had anxiety, right? So and I was depressed at the same time. So, but I felt like I needed that time, that space just to walk out because I was always at home lying on a couch, or I'm in the corner, sitting down in the corner, crawled up in a little ball and crying my eyes out. And those walks really helped, right? I even tried jogging, in the morning. I was trying, but sometimes your depression and anxiety gets too hard, and even when you feel like you're taking those steps, it just feels like, what's the point, right? I'm gonna live like this for the rest of my life. I'm not seeing any changes. I'm not seeing any differences in my life. I'm not, I'm putting the effort, but I'm not seeing any changes. And when that happens, a lot of us tend to feel like, maybe I shouldn't even try anymore. Maybe I should just give up and just, you know, whatever happens, happens, right? And that was my mindset during that time when every single day was almost the same, where it was just like it was always a bad day. I never smiled. I was never happy, but it all came up to me deciding and making that choice that I needed to change my life. Because if I don't make any changes right now, like drastic changes, then most likely I'm probably going to be living the rest of my life with anxiety and depression. Okay. Um, and so, that basement story, I'm not going to talk about it because you guys probably heard it. It changed my life. Right. And Rita, good night, Roger. Rita, hi, Rita, you made it. Rita. Another one of my YouTube regulars, Rita and Shell and Sai. And Tracy is gonna start becoming one of my regulars, right, Tracy? She, uh, I was like, Tracy, you don't have to come on as a guest tonight because you can just watch my show, and then next week you can be a guest on my show. So Trisha made it. Hey Trisha, glad you can join. Glad you can join. You know what? I really appreciate you guys. Like when I leave a message and I tell you that, I'm gonna go live, and then I see you, and I'm just like, wow, you guys are, oh man, you like that loyalty and that support, like your support for my channel and my Facebook feed, my page, everything that you guys do. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Especially for the people that are in bed right now, like Kaylee, for example. She was really tired and in bed, but she still made the effort to come on, right? So thank you. Sai says, me, when I had a bad day, I do crochet. Oh, Sai, you should have a crochet thing with my daughter because I showed it. All right, so if you guys haven't seen it yet, I'm gonna show it again. Ta-da! If you guys haven't seen it, my daughter made this for me for Christmas. You guys seen it? I love showing it because um, I think, who was it? My Facebook Live, it was Sarah or Elizabeth or someone. I can't remember who it was, but they told me to actually replace my owl with this Your Mind Matter crochet, put it on a frame or something, right? So I was thinking of that, and that might be a possibility. See, even Tracy was like, you were supposed to hang it up. Yes, you know what? I was thinking of maybe getting a frame for it because would it look too small? You know, I don't know. I'm gonna try, but maybe my next live I'll surprise you guys and I'll have that on behind me. I think it's gonna look fantastic. Kelly says that is amazing. I want one. Yeah, my daughter can crochet almost anything, right? I'm so surprised. She made these stuffed animals. I was like, they look, when you look at it, they look like they're worth like $300, right? And I'm like, don't you have school? Like, when do you have the time to actually, get a chance to do that? But she has her own schedule, so she wakes up in the morning and she'll do her homework and then she'll do crochet and then while watching TV and stuff like that. So very talented individual. And again, one of the best Christmas gifts that I ever received, right? So Rhonda says, I love that. She does beautiful work. She does, I'm trying to get her to like, maybe open up a shop on Etsy or something, because it's really like when you look at the quality and how it looks like in person, it looks better than in person than it does on video. So Sarah, put it in a black mat to make it stand out. Oh, you know what? I can do that as well. I could put on a mat, or I can put it like a black background on a frame. What do you guys think? Like on a frame, maybe behind here. I think I'm definitely gonna put it back here because, you know, I have this Your Mind Matters thing, this little board here, right? So I'll probably remove that. So you guys can help me kind of, turn this, like I'm trying to make my studio, my little studio here, to look as good as possible. So, I have this thing here, it's blank. I don't know what to put there. So you guys can help me build my studio, right? We're all in it. Yes, black frame. Kenya says a black frame. Okay, black frame and a black background. Yeah, you're right. It could, because I think with that white, it's going to pop out. Tracy says, fantastic talent your daughter has, and such an awesome message. It is. When I first started writing quotes, the first thing I told myself was that I need to have something. I need to say, there's got to be something like a motto or something that I can use. And the first thing I thought of was Your Mind Matters, because this is exactly what changed me, right? It was my mind. And guys know I like to talk about how powerful your mind is, and everything starts from the mind. And once you start strengthening your mindset, your world will change, right? So if you can tell yourself that your mind matters, it's like trying to treat it to the best of your ability to make it positive as much as you can, right? Because it's like your mind is like a sponge. So what you watch on TV, what you listen to on the radio, what you scroll through on your phone, this is all information that you're absorbing, right? And even when you go to sleep, even though you don't know it, subconsciously you are still thinking about it. So sometimes you're watching something, like just say you're watching something terrible in the news and you have these bad dreams, or you wake up in the morning, you start to feel a little bit like, oh man, today's gonna be a bad day, because what you read or what you watch is still affecting you without you knowing, right? So imagine if you were to read my quotes every single day, or have positive affirmation, or listen to 5 minutes of positive affirmations right before you go to bed, or like Sai or Farhana does, or maybe even Shell, you too. They open up my ebook and they just read it right, for 5 minutes, and that way you can start your day, and you might be able to see like changes in your life, right? And when you start to see those changes, then you're going to tell yourself, you know what, I am taking steps, I'm starting to see changes. And then you start getting into this flow of like, oh my gosh, I can start seeing the light, this dark path that I'm on, maybe it is taking me to somewhere bright. Maybe I am going to see, great things in the future, when all this time you've been picturing yourself in this dark forest. I love saying the dark forest or the maze, or like in this fog, right? Because there's this bridge that some of us are afraid to cross. But if we start to challenge ourselves, and we start doing these things that we thought we never could do, then you will find yourself on the other side of the bridge, and then you will see a completely different side of the world, right? You'll see all these opportunities for you, and then you can make your life more exciting and enjoyable again, right? Uh, Rhonda, that is so true on what you watch or read and then dream. Yeah, it's all related, right? Sometimes we don't think about it because our mind is wandering, and there's just so many things happening in our lives that we just don't have the time to think about, oh, is it, I'm just going to watch this and whatever, blah blah blah. But it does affect you, right? So that's why I'm very selective on what I watch. Like movies is okay because we know that it is for entertainment purposes, and we just know that it's a movie. But when you watch the news and you're listening to like world issues and blah 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 and all this stuff that probably is not going to affect your life, right? Then the best thing to do is try to avoid watching that, and just focus on, watching things that's going to benefit you, to make you, feel a little bit stronger, or to give you hope, right? Because the most important thing is that you continue to have hope and to have faith. And if you are listening to people talking about it all the time, about being positive and all that stuff, it's going to change the way you think. It's going to change your perspective about yourself. It's going to change your perspective about life. And that is what I learned through my journey. It's about perspective. What is your perspective about life, right? How do you perceive your own life? And sometimes you have to pull yourself out of your own body and look at yourself, right? And see what is the problem, right? Are you satisfied about what you're doing about your life right now, right? And if you could find out what are those things that you are doing wrong, then you still have a chance and opportunity every single day to make those differences for yourself. Every single second counts. The time that you have is very, very, very important, right? So if you're spending the day all day doing nothing, right? And that I did that when I had my anxiety and depression, and it's not my fault because I had anxiety and depression. But I made that self-realization afterwards to change everything. My time was so important of what I was doing every single day. If I wanted to heal myself, if I wanted to find my happiness, if I wanted to make my mother happy and smile, I would have to change myself, right? Because a lot of the things that were happening in my household was, went back to how I was treating myself, right? So, oh my gosh, I'm talking too much. My mouth is gonna get dry soon. Kelly says, I listen to a lot of books on Audible while at work. That's awesome, Kelly, because there are there's so many things that you can read. And Audible is a great thing to do, especially for those people that don't like to pick up a physical book like me and read it physically. But my niece and my daughters, they've actually had like their own book club, right? So this is very interesting. I was like, what do you guys do? And they all three of them pick up one book, and after they finish a chapter, they get in a group chat and they just discuss about like the chapter and their thoughts. And they're not allowed to read the next chapter until they all read that chapter at the same time. So I think that's pretty cool. Farhana made it. Wow, Farhana. Wow. Hey, Farhana, you made it. Yay. You missed my Facebook Live, but that's okay because I messaged you and I said, don't worry, I'm going live on Sunday so you can join. So Farhana is another one of my regulars, longtime follower. So I love you so much, Farhana. Trisha says, how long ago was that, your anxiety and depression? Great question, Trisha. Okay, well, give me 1 second because I'm just going to read a bit out of my chat. Sarah says, yes, if you're surrounded by toxic things and people, you feel the sadness. Totally, totally. And that's what my family was feeling when I was going through my anxiety and depression, right? So when I healed myself, everything changed. Your environment changes because you change, right? Because you are also projecting some sort of energy, right? So if you're projecting negative energy, somebody is going to receive it, right? And my family, unfortunately, were receiving it, but I was able to change all that. Uh, I'm gonna get back to your question about Trisha. I just want to get to the chat before I start missing everything. Farhana says, "Hope you're enjoying the weekend. Thank you so much. Beautiful T-shirt. Thank you so much." Tracy says, "I think you released another ebook, another than the Christmas one. Not sure. I downloaded it. Yeah, Tracy, I did. It was for the 7,000 subscriber ebook. So if you go to that, you're on my channel right now. So later on, just look for the 7,000 and then you could just download it. If not, I can send you the link directly. Looking forward to see your Facebook Live, and that's going to be on Friday or Saturday. Okay, so back to my question about when did I have anxiety. So on March 2016 was the day I slipped on ice and I had a concussion, right? Hit the back of my head on the edge of my concrete step. That is where it all started, right? But my anxiety and depression didn't start until maybe like 4 months after that, because I literally had to deal with the symptoms from my concussion. I had like this freezing sensation, this numb sensation, tingling sensation I had, and it started from my head, right? And it was tough because I never had it there. I had it on my legs, when you sleep for a long time and it's there, right? And it goes away, but I was hoping that it would go away, but I started to get a little bit more anxious when as weeks passed and then months passed, and I still had it, and it started to go all over the place. And that's when I went to see my chiropractor and all that. But that's how my anxiety started. So it was probably in the summer of 2016 it started, and then the anxiety got so bad. I started to get depressed, and then my depression got so bad, and then I hit rock bottom. That was when it was the worst time of my life, right? But again, I look back at that journey that I went through, and again, this really relates to my quote that I'm talking about, was about that dark path that led me to such a beautiful place, like an incredible place, because I found so much about myself, right? Before I fell, I was so lost. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know if I had a future. And when you get to a certain point in your life at a certain age, you relive your past and start to think about all the things that all the things that you were successful at, and then you look at all your failures. And I looked at myself as I had a lot of failures, right? More failures than I had success, right? So I was at a point where I was just like, am I really going to be a stay-home dad and just be that? And I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong about being a stay-home dad, but I am so grateful and blessed that I am able to stay home and be there with my kids. But at the same time, what is it for me that I can do that I'm going to wake up in the morning and say, I can't wait to start the day, that kind of feeling. So after what I went through, I discovered that I wanted to help people because I was able to help myself. I wanted to share my story. I wanted to tell people that, that there is a light after the tunnel. I mean, at the end of the tunnel, that this darkness is just a chapter, right? And you just have to believe in it so much, because when you start to believing that there is this light at the end of this darkness, I mean, like, you feel it. You become the light. You feel you are love. And with that love, you can spread it to the people that surround you. And I did that when I healed myself. I spread it to my family. And now it's like I can have my Christmases again, and I can go on vacations or whatever the case may be, where I can spend time with my family. Okay, I'm going to the that was 2016, right? So from 2016, it lasted all the way until like the end of 2000, I mean around 2019, maybe mid 2019, around 2019. That was my journey from beginning to myself healing, and that's when I decided I wanted to write quotes and I wanted to help people, right? So Patty says, my quote today was, if yesterday was the worst day of your life, today's a new day for you to make it better. Make it your best. And that is very powerful, Patty. I hope everyone heard that, because just read it to yourself, right? Yes, yesterday may have been the worst day, but today you can make it an amazing day. The first thing you have to do is be grateful that you have today, right? Today you have a chance to do something about your life or experience life and to move forward on your journey, right? And that is probably the most important thing, is that you do have a chance at life again today. right? So let's do something amazing, right? The new year has started. If one of your new year resolution was that, I want to be a different person this year. I want to I want to have an exciting life. I want things to change for the better. You can do it starting this year, right? Because maybe last year you said that to yourself, but it didn't happen. But again, today's a new day and it's a new year. So Sarah says, I had a concussion that affected my vision and the peripheral vision. How did you heal from the physical? I did brain building games and memory games. Sarah, I didn't really luckily for me, I didn't affect my vision. However, the one of the symptoms I did have, not just the head thing, but I had a lot of pressure that felt like someone took their two hands and they were pushing it against my head. So this pressure was there. I had ringing in my ears. I had to check for my hearing because I couldn't, like, it sounded like I was in an aquarium. And also I felt like I wanted to faint, right? But that only lasted maybe like 3 months, and I felt like I just had to drink a lot of water. But my basement story, I talk about this a lot. Sarah, you probably know about it, but that's when I learned how to focus. Okay, so before I cleaned my basement, my mind was all over the place. And I just kept thinking about negative thoughts, and I kept thinking about this is going to last forever. I'm going to have anxiety for the rest of my life. I'm going to take this medication for the rest of my life and all these bad things, right? However, when I started cleaning up my basement, I realized that when I started to focus on one thing, so that one thing was me trying to finish cleaning up this basement, right? Which was like I barely could walk down the steps, right? So every day I challenged myself. Every day I had something to look forward to, right? Before I just woke up in the morning and I just think about all these negative thoughts. However, when I started to change that routine where I could wake up in the morning, go down to the basement, start to clean it, my mind was so in tune to just doing as much as I can so that the next day I can continue doing it. And with that focus, that allowed me to not allow my negative thoughts to attack me. All my thoughts that I kept thinking about my symptoms. Maybe, as kept thinking about my symptoms, I actually made it worse, right? Because that's what it felt like. Because after the 3.5 weeks, 10 hours a day, nonstop. 3.5 weeks, I finally cleaned up that basement, right? It was like 36 garbage bag fulls, right? I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, where's my sensations? Where'd it go? Like literally, I couldn't feel it anymore. When I was sleeping, the ringing in my ears, it was gone. So something happened during that time when I was cleaning, when I was so focused on getting the job done. And not only that, but it gave me the confidence, right? It made me believe in myself that I can actually start doing amazing things, right? I never thought, like, even though I said, okay, Roger, why don't you just try cleaning up the basement and see how far it'll go? I honestly thought I would just quit, in the second day or the third day, right? But I just kept going, and then I realized, you know what, Roger, if you were able to clean that basement by yourself, can you imagine what else you can do? Like, I stopped working out because I was like this bubble boy, right? So I said, you know what? Why don't I try working out again? And I was like, you used to like mowing the grass, right? Why don't you try that again? You used to like taking your kids to the park. Why don't you try that again and see where that takes you? And as I started to do that every single day, like just looking forward to bring all these things that I pushed aside, my life started to change and I became so focused because my goal was to become better, a better version of myself, right? And this is why, like, if this is a new year and you want that for yourself, you can absolutely do that. You can change everything that didn't happen for you last year and make that thing work for you this year, right? When you start to really set that as your goal and you tell yourself by 2025, I want to feel like a different person, a better me, right? And you can absolutely do that, right? Oh my gosh, I missed so much of the chat. Kelly says, Roger, do you have a quote calendar? Kelly, you know what? Someone asked me a long time ago, and she's like, you should make a calendar and have your quotes on because I would definitely buy it. And I am really looking to do that because I think that's really interesting, right? Some people don't really like to like you can have it on your phone, but like you're talking about like a physical calendar, right? Where you can hang up or put on your desk or something. I am definitely going to look into that. And then I really want to try making that a reality. So when I do, Kelly, I will definitely let you know because I have so many quotes. I can do like many calendars that will last a lifetime, right? So Trisha says there's blessing in pain. I look at my whole journey, even though it was like the most toughest thing that I had to go through, it was honestly like a blessing in disguise. I look at it now. It's easy for me to say now, but it was tough for me to say that as I was healing myself. But just look at how far I've come and what I've been able to do with what I went through, and I made a negative into a positive, right? And I think that is just something that I feel so blessed to be able to have. God gave me a gift. Thank you so much, God, for giving that to me to help people to realize that there is always hope, and you can really change your life and make things better for yourself, right? Sarah says, yes, focus took a long time to build as I couldn't even make a grocery list. That task helped you. Great points. Yeah, Sarah, you know what? Before I focused, it was so weird because I couldn't even write, right? It was so weird. Like, I would try to write on a piece of paper and I just couldn't. It was so weird. It's just like I just lost focus on everything. And when you start to lose focus, it's like, a lot of things change, right? And I did have focus on one thing. I focused on my negative thoughts. And as I was focusing on my negative thoughts, my life was horrible day after day. And I just couldn't get out of that rhythm of just living a negative life, right? So there has to be a way. That's what I was telling myself. There has to be a way to flip this around, right? So I was very intrigued, right? I was just like, how am I supposed to do that? Where do I start? So I did a video, my last episode on anxiety and depression is not the end. If you guys haven't watched it yet, I talk about how to start healing yourself. So after this live, if you have time, please check it out. It's anxiety and depression. It's not the end, episode number 21, and I talk about the 3 things that help me. Right. So if if you have anxiety and depression, or not even if you're just going through a really tough time and you just want to learn how to start going to the right direction, please watch that video. And again, if you haven't subscribed to my video, I am 5 subscribers short from 7.1. So if you can help me, please press the subscribe button, and that would be awesome. Oh, and don't forget to like the video too. Sarah says, yes, love that idea. Quote photo calendar. Okay, I got that. I remember that. Trisha says, I loved working out. Oh, I love working out. And actually, I was on my way to the gym when I stopped to get gas. I ended up stepping over the gas pump hose to throw stuff out. And I stepped over the hose. I fell. Oh, and you know what? Maybe sometimes could be a trigger, right? Those triggers are pretty rough. Like like that concrete step. Every time I looked at it, I start thinking about that day. It was just crazy. But I was able to battle through it, overcome my fears and stuff like that. So if you still love working out, Trisha, I mean, I don't know if you're working out right now, but make that a mission for yourself as well. Try to work out as much, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, and watch your body transform, right? Because exercising does so many positive things for yourself, right? Like it brings so much confidence. You're like, it's just like this changes your body changes, everything changes, right? In a great way, right? So working out is definitely something for anybody that probably, if you told yourself last year, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna get fit, and it didn't happen. Remember, you can do it this year. You can do it this year. Helen says a desktop calendar would be great with a different quote for every day, 365. Perfect, Helen. I have about 365 quotes, I believe. I should, right? Because every day I try to write something new. At least one. I have to write at least one new quote per day, right? So I've been writing quotes for over 3 years now. So, I do have the content, right? So look forward to that calendar, guys. I will let you know. Sarah says, then when you feel joy, it's weird because your mind tells you you're not allowed to feel that right now. Do it anyway. Yes, exactly, Sarah, right? You want to feel it, but when your mind is so when your mind is overwhelmed, when it's overwhelming with negative thoughts, even when you think of a positive thought, even when you're trying so hard, those negative thoughts, they are so strong, right? It's like they all of a sudden it says they just barge into your mind and they're like, no, 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 you can't think of anything positive today because this is your life. This is what you have to worry about. This is, and it's like, do I really? Right? When you start to strengthen your mindset, you're going to understand. You start talking to yourself and you start to, and I talked about this before on my previous lives that, when you start to strengthen your mindset, you're going to be able to pause time for a little bit, right? And then you can start to pick and choose which are the thoughts that really mean that are important to you. What are the thoughts that are really going to help you become a better version of yourself, right? If that is your goal, if your goal is to become a better version of yourself, then if there's a thought that says, no, today you're not going to work out because you think you're going to be stronger after this, you think this is going to help you, right? No, you don't have to listen to that. I'm going to listen to the voice that work out today. Stop whatever you're doing and do 10 to 15 minutes of cardio, right? And that's the voice that you listen to. And then, that makes a difference. I tell my kids all the time, green means go. I look at the color green. I don't use numbers like 3, 2, 1. I just think green, and instantly I just stop what I do and I just say, for example, it's washing the dishes, or it's like cutting the lawn or working out, right? I stop, like I'm watching TV, I will stop and then I will work out or exercise or do the dishes, and then I can go back and start watching TV again because it's that green light that's going to get you going, right? Kaylee says, I have way too much triggers in my life. People, situations, smells, word sense. And it's tough, right? Having so many triggers and trying to deal with, okay, so if I have a trigger, which one do I focus on first to get that out of the way? But I guess for me, when I had my trigger was when I slipped and fell, because if you don't know this by now, the reason why I slipped and fell was because I had to drive my niece home during that ice storm, right? So I would ran to the car, and that's when I forgot I didn't put my boots on, so I slipped and fell, and and I kept blaming my niece. I said, it's your fault, right? If I didn't have to drive you home, then I wouldn't have slipped and fell, and I wouldn't have anxiety, I wouldn't have depression, and my life wouldn't be a mess. And that was my trigger, right? Like every time I thought about her name, my sister-in-law, which is her mother, I would freak out, I would just go insane, right? But I knew that was my biggest trigger, so I knew that I had to make peace with that. And once I made peace with that, my life started to become better, and I started my life started to change, right? So it's hard. It's hard overcoming these triggers, but if you can do it, you're going to start to see a little bit of change, right? And Kaylee, if you have that many triggers, then one at a time, right? Take it one at a time. Tracy says your quotes have helped me so much. Thank you. You're always welcome, Tracy. You're always welcome. And that's why I continue to do what I do, and I love what I do because I know that I'm making a difference in people's lives. And even when I was a kid, I was always interested in people. I just don't know what it was. Just being around people and making people smile, and like even opening the door for people, I would do that. Maybe I learned it from my mom. My mom taught me a lot of great things in life, right? So it rubbed off on me, and I know that it's important to make yourself happy, but it's also important to make other people happy as well, right? So Kenya says Roger's quotes have helped me a lot as well. Thank you so much, Kenya. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know, it makes me, sometimes when I read it just makes me want to cry because it really touches me. It touches me deep down inside, right? So um yeah, so I'm so happy that I'm able to be a part of your journey, and I will continue to do so to try to, if it is that happiness that you're searching for, or if you want to find that inner peace, and I'm there with you, I'm so happy that I am. So Trisha says, oh no, Sarah, sending love and prayers. Oh, I missed something. I'm there now. I blew my left knee at Christmas, so here I say, ooh, ouch, Sarah, I'm so sorry that happened. I hope it's healing. I try not to do so much, and just wait until it heals. I had that in July when you guys know that, right? I injured it started from back here in my neck, and then it worked all the way down to my fingertips. So I was injured for like almost 3 months. And like I said, I worked out like at least 5 times a week, and I couldn't work out for 3 months. And that really messed me up a little bit up here. I kept telling myself, Roger, it's going to heal. It's going to heal. But the pain was it hurt so much. I couldn't work really. I couldn't do my videos. And that's why on my Facebook Live, I was saying that, it felt like I slipped down this hill. I took 3 steps back, and now I have to get back to where I started. So I just worked out with my daughter last night on my legs. That was a killer. Right. But again, you just have to keep pushing yourself, and tell yourself, your body knows how to heal, right? So just remember that, and stay strong. Patty says, how did you get past that point and stop blaming your niece? That was very difficult. I think that was during that whole healing process where, when my sister found me and I went back home, and I was trying to find out what are the things that I can do, right? Okay. And then what are the things that I think the big question here was, Roger, what are the things that you are thinking about the most that's making you feel depressed or giving you anxiety? Okay, number one was probably the fact that, then since I had since the pressure in my head and all that, right? This was obviously prior, before I started cleaning the basement, right? But the one thing that stood out was my niece. I could not mention her name. I could not look at the concrete step. I could not, like, it was just something that really, like, Kaylee understands these triggers, or anyone that has these triggers. It's like all of a sudden you become a different person, and then you're just like, all these emotions come out, and you can't control it, because it's just like, this caused me so much anger and so much rage, right? So I was like, okay, Roger, if that is what's causing you, what are you going to do to stop that from you feeling this way, this hate, this anger, these rage fits that you're having, right? What can you do, right? So I said, Roger, why don't you try telling yourself that maybe it's not her fault, right? Maybe it's because you rushed to the car and you forgot to put on your boots, and you forgot that there was an ice storm, right? And I start to picture that, and, like, you know what? That kind of makes sense, right? Wait a second. Why am I blaming her? Wait a second. Why am I blaming her mother, my sister-in-law? Because that really ruined the relationship between my wife and my sister-in-law, because they literally live like across the street, right? So it came to a point where she was telling my sister-in-law, "Don't ever come over to my house, and don't ever bring Michaela over ever again, because Roger is going to have a rage fit." Right. And so that really, it was tough, right? But so, I took that next step, and I said, Roger, you need to make peace with that, right? And when Christmas came, I just said, you know what, Ivy, Michaela, I would love for you to come over for Christmas and spend it with us, right? And they were so shocked. They're like, oh my gosh, did Roger really say that? Like, this is weird, right? And my wife was like, oh my God, are you sure? Are you sure this is the right, this is right? And so I did. And, after they came over, things started to change. I started to realize, yes, Roger, this is exactly what you needed to do, right? So making peace with that really helped, right? And moving forward with that, it changed the environment in my household, and then we got Kona, my dog, my family, my wife and my daughters brought home a dog, and Kona changed everything. And Shell, with Bean, just a little dog can make a difference in your life, right? Okay, ballroom dancing. Okay, there must have been something before that. Your mom is beautiful. We see her in you. She is. My mom is incredible. I love her so much. I need to bring her live again, because she loves talking to you guys. Oh, and when she got her birthday wishes, like on her birthday, actually, she had like 3,000 likes or something. She was like so happy. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I love the people on your page. Thank you so much." And you guys make her so happy. Sai says, "So true. Your quotes and ebooks help me a lot." And so, yes, Sai, I know you read my ebooks, and thank you so much. And I hope you still read them every single morning, Sai. Gina says, "Hi, Roger. I hope you're doing well." Hey, Gina. Glad for you to join. I'm doing super fantastic. Is this your first time here live on my Gina? On my live stream? I want to bring someone live. It's about 48 minutes. So I do bring people live on my show. So I'd like to hear something that you experienced in your past, something dark that you thought it was like you thought this chapter was gonna go on forever, but it did actually leave. It could be a relationship too, because sometimes you have a bad relationship in the past, and you're like, oh my gosh, if I'm ever gonna find someone, then you realize, hey, you know what? If I didn't end off that relationship, I wouldn't have met this specific person. That is just an example of like a dark path that's going to lead you to brighter places, right? Sarah says, okay. Sarah says, my thing is I go to the grocery store and I walk around it leaning on a cart. Two things I have a theme for this year is to be grateful for who you have left. I lost so many. Yeah, that is something really to think about too, right? Losing loved ones is one of the hardest things to go through. The biggest one for me was, when my dad passed away, watching my mother have to go through that, and wondering whether if she's ever going to be okay after that, to find her happiness. But she did. My mom's strong, and I think the most important thing is spending time with loved ones, or spending as much time with with your friends or whatever, and just really, and still, even though that person's not there with you physically, they are there with you spiritually, but spend the time you have with the people that are here with you physically, right? As much time as you can, right? And to experience that love, because love is such a powerful thing, right? It's like the most powerful energy that we have, right? So the more that you can absorb that love, it will, change your life, make your life in a more positive way, right? Oh, Gina's second time. Oh, great. Perfect. Have you ever seen me bring someone on live? We have a lot of fun. So I'm gonna put a link here. So if you've never done it before, Sai and Rita have done it before. Shell has done it before. Natalie, she's not here yet, and Patty was here and she's done it before. I'm gonna put a link. All you have to do is click the link, and then you just put your name, and then I will see you on my screen, and then I'm gonna bring you up, and then we can have a one-on-one conversation, and then we'll go from there, right? So I love your mom. Oh, thank you so much. I know my mom is super fantastic. I learned so much from her, especially being strong, during that time when I felt so alone. She was there for me 24/7, right? Like she would be there with me um when I couldn't sleep, and she would leave my house until I did sleep, right? And then she would go home 2 hours later. I'd be like, "Mom, I can't go back. I can't go to sleep." She would like back to my house, drive back to my house in her pajamas and stay there with me until I fell asleep again, right? So that is that commitment, and just let's, just being for someone, always, no matter how dark it is, right? So, thank you, Mom. I know she's not watching because she's downstairs right now watching TV, but she'll probably watch this video later. Kelly says, I have to get going. I need to be up in 5 hours for work. Thank you for this night. You're very, very welcome, Kelly. Thank you so much for staying and coming on. And I hope to see you on my next Facebook Live or my next YouTube Live. All right, Kelly. So have a great night. Thank you again for coming live again. So good night. Enjoy your new week. Have a super fantastic new week. Okay. I love you so much, Kelly. So I'm going to do this, guys. Who is ready to come live with me to share something from their past about something dark that you believe that led you to brighter days? Okay. So I'm going to put this link here. I might see one or two people, but I'll see after I put this. Are you guys ready? My mom is a warrior. She is definitely a warrior. She is absolutely the most strongest person I know. Right. Yeah, she's definitely a warrior. So here's the link. So all you got to do is click it, and if you feel that you're ready, or you feel like you want to come on, I know sometimes you might feel a little shy, but Rita and Sai and Natalie, they both were like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it, and they came online, and we had a super great time. We were able to have a conversation, and I think it's good. Sometimes you might have something that you want to share, and somebody here that's listening may feel that, you know what, I can totally relate to that because I actually went through that as well, right? Or maybe someone's going through that right now, and they have questions like, I don't know how to get through this because it's really, really tough, right? Farhana says, missing Kona, the lovely doggy, in the live stream. If she comes up, I will definitely bring her on. I know Bernadette loves seeing Kona, right? Bernadette, if you're still here, I have Bernadette. I mean, I have Kona sometimes here. She's wearing her pink sweater that my daughter crocheted. She is another thing that my daughter did too as well. You have a beautiful warrior mom. Oh, I have someone, Sarah. Device not connected. Oh, hi, Sarah.
Hi. I've never done this before, but
Awesome.
okay.
This is amazing. You see,
Yeah.
can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
hear you
Okay.
perfectly.
All
Sarah,
right.
welcome. Welcome to the
Thank you.
live.
So, part of my journey is your story. So, I had
Oh,
a
wow.
concussion a long time ago, but when I found you,
Yes.
the dark place I um, was healing from losing my oldest son to suicide.
Okay. I'm
And
so sorry.
so,
And how
yeah,
long ago was this?
it's 3 years in April.
Okay, 3 years in April. Okay.
So, but part of the journey was my best friend, she lost her oldest son a year later, and then I lost her 6 months later. So
Oh,
it was
man.
like, and my dad died 4 months before my son. So, like, grief is just something I've lived for 3 years now. And we lost, like, I stopped counting at 100. I've lost so many people, it's not even funny. But
Wow.
I'm I'm here to tell other people that if I can do it, If I
Yes.
can live through that, you can get through what you need to. And
Yeah,
your
that's
quotes have helped me.
wow, I'm so oh man, I'm really means so much to me. And you know, I know I Sai was here, Sai's here. She lost her sister not too long ago as well, and it's been tough. You know, I get a lot of people that message me and they tell about the loved one, and it's so hard
Yeah.
to just try to get to them to like just move forward because it is hard because that person is not there with you anymore, right? Especially, I mean, your son, right?
Yeah.
And even though it's been 3 years, but it's still like it's just not being in that same place with that they're not there, right? That you're so
Yeah.
used to them, whatever. And I say this a lot because it depends on where your belief system is, right?
Mhm.
Do you believe that there is heaven? Do you believe that they are in a better place? Do you believe that everyone here, including you and me, we are all made of out of energy, right? So when we leave, like our physical body is just the physical part of it, right? This is like kind of
Yeah.
like the tool we use to like when our soul comes into this body, we get to have this experience on the planet Earth, right?
Yeah.
But when we all pass, this energy has to leave somewhere, and you know, it leaves our physical body, and we go to I have Patty here, but I'm gonna sorry, Patty, I'm just gonna continue walk. I'll bring you on later, Patty. I can see her.
Mhm.
And so we go to heaven, right?
Yes,
And
I
I
believe that.
believe that before we come to earth, that we all come from heaven, right? That we
Yeah.
are surrounded by love, and that's where our home is. And why do we come when we're on earth? Why do we want love so much? Why do we want to experience love so much? Why are we always searching for happiness? Is because we left heaven to come here and we feel that there is something missing, right?
Mhm.
And we're searching for it so that we can find that balance again, right? So, you know, with my mom, when my father passed away, we were in total shock because it was like I just spoke to him that day, and then all of a sudden I get a call from my mom and said, "Your dad's gone." And I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
that's like so messed up." Right. And just my mom like was married to him for like over 40 years, and you know, I couldn't even imagine what it's like for that person not to be beside you when you've been living with that person for so long, right? And so, you know, it was hard for my mom to see her go through that. You know, it did take her around like 3 years, 3 to 4
Yeah.
years, right? But she has photos, I said this in my last live, photos of my dad all over the place, right? Just to remind her that he's still here, that he's always watching you, that he's no matter where you are, no matter where you go, they are always watching you and just hoping that you can just remember we all have our lives still to work on, right? We have our
Oh,
own journey, right? So they're like, just focus on your life and try to be as happy as possible and continue on your journey. And you know, that's one of the things to think about, but at the same time, it is still difficult because they will
well,
always be in your heart, right?
yeah. Well, the bigger story is I'm left with my best friend's youngest son.
How
So
old is he?
he's 25 now.
Okay.
So these are adult people we're talking about. But the beauty about my story is I'm now there for him,
Right.
and and I text him and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you. I love you." And
Mhm.
he's like, "I love you, mom." He calls me mom
Wow.
now, you
Oh my
know.
god.
But all the stories that she told me, I'm like, "Why am I listening to this again? I love you." But now I can tell her and and or him, and then his brother's wife and baby, I now
Mhm.
have a connection to, and anytime I think of a story, I send it to him. So I'm that bridge, you know? So
Yes.
it's sweet and it's bitter, but I'm so glad to be here, to tell the stories of those people that are not here anymore,
Right.
you know? So
Yeah. Yeah,
you just have to.
I really believe, yeah, this quote that I wrote about some dark paths will lead to brightest places. I mean, it is a dark path, and it's still, I mean, you're not on this path anymore, right? But this path that you have been going on in the past, it did bring you to this connection. You're talking about this bridge, right?
Yeah,
Where you're like the mother figure for your best friend's kid, right? So
yeah.
it's
Mhm.
something beautiful at the same time, right? So it is definitely something that you will always remember and you can share. Like, I thank you for coming on to share because someone messaged me earlier and they lost someone and it was tough for them to, you know, to move forward. So,
It is.
you know,
Well, sometimes the part of it through the grief is that you feel guilty that you couldn't stop them, and the truth is whether it's natural causes or if they choose to end their life, you
Yeah.
didn't do anything wrong, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
if you can separate their actions from who they were, you can still love them.
Yeah.
And
For
then my goal this year is to teach people how to bounce. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so dark. No, let's just say that that just happened. We'll try again tomorrow,
Exactly.
you know?
That's
So,
exactly. I had my like when I was in my early 20s, my cousin took his life too, right? He was only in his early 20s. And again, I just spoke to him like a few days before, and he was like, it was I didn't know that was going to be the last time I spoke with him, right? But
yeah.
you just never like it's so strange because you just never know what people are thinking about. You think that everything's okay, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, so that's why I believe so much like the stuff that I do, especially with anxiety and depression, because it's
Mhm.
like so many people have it. And I when I was going through it, I didn't have suicidal thoughts, but I did feel that it was the end for me. And that's why I left my house, because I just wanted to walk until I collapsed, right? That's
Yeah.
like, I didn't want to harm myself physically, but I just wanted to just kind of like ended it that kind of like that way. But thank God he sent me my sister to take me home. And I healed myself out of that, right? So I encourage people to never lose hope, and that that there are dark chapters. Yes, in life there are dark chapters, but there are also really beautiful ones as well, right? And maybe it won't be next month, next year, but there's something bright out there for you, right? And like you said, every day, yes, yes, it's something bad happened, but let's make today and start that, take that step, every single day, so that as long as you're taking those steps every single day, you're going to lead is going to take you to somewhere bright. So
Yeah,
it's
the
been how long?
absolute um that just thought of I thought of a story. So I'm out in a rural area outside Las Vegas, and
Oh,
I
okay.
wanted a connection to my cousins or my family. And I go to this fair, and I haven't been outside really interacting with people for two
A
and a
long
half
time.
years at this point.
Okay.
We run
Yeah.
to the grocery store, we get our stuff, we leave. And it was really hard for me to even do that. But
Mhm.
I ran into my dad's side of the family cousins, and we were so excited that literally we could do is hug each other and stand there and cry. And my husband was like, "Who is hugging you?" you know. But
Really?
it was the most beautiful moment because I finally had broken through that. I'm not going to be sad anymore. I'm just
Yes.
done with it. I'm tired of it, you know?
Yes.
And Heavenly Father sent me this beautiful cousin that I love dearly and his brother. And it was
Wow.
like being visited from my dad and his cousin too at the same
Right.
time. So I was like, what is happening? I just knew it was a gift.
No,
And
totally.
Heavenly Father's like, I am still thinking about you and you need this. So,
Yes. That see, there you go. Like that's exactly what made started me to say to myself, I am sick and tired of living my day like this, every single day
yeah,
like this. I have to do something, right? I have to do something.
yeah,
I went through I went through professional help and stuff, and
yeah.
it's not their fault they couldn't help me. It was me. I was just like, I want a quick fix. I want to be better tomorrow, right? So I
And
was
it's
like,
not. It's not a quick fix.
it's not.
It's
It definitely isn't.
the best thing I ever heard was if you take your emotional health like an onion and you peel a layer off, you're
Mhm.
gonna still peeling things off every day. I mean, it's been 3 years, and there'll be days that I wake up and I literally cannot breathe. I'm having a panic attack,
Panic
and then I
attack.
go, "No, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna be
Mhm.
okay today." You know?
Yes.
And this is the first time I've talked about it in a big scope. So,
Wow.
thank you
This is
for
no problem. This is great for you. I mean, like this is just something you might not realize it, but like just allowing for yourself to release it, I mean, it's going to make you feel so much better, right? And this is a great thing you did today, and I know that this is something that you were meant to come on today to speak with me, to come on live to share your story, because this is going to help you, right? It's going to help other people who are watching, right?
sure.
For sure, right? I'm
Yeah,
gonna have
my
Patty come on. Okay, go ahead.
okay. One last thing. My story is I can still be the voice for my son because I really truly believe that he got out on a cliff and he didn't know how to come back down. And so if
Mhm.
we can help those people go, we don't have to do that today, you know,
Exactly.
and find ways to have places that are safe to talk about these things, you know,
Yes, for
without
sure.
judgment. So,
Like like, I was so I didn't wanna tell anybody that I had anxiety and depression and, when I was having it, but when I realized how many people were actually going through it, that how many people were actually searching for answers or searching for people that's going through it, or maybe even, like, how did that person actually heal themselves from it, right?
yeah,
When I healed myself, I was like, "I've got this story, I need to share it, right? I need to tell people that."
yeah,
That's why I have my series, Anxiety and Depression is not the end because, I believe that it doesn't have to be the end, that you can actually when you start to you focus that attention towards yourself first, like loving yourself and all that stuff and taking care of yourself, you can make a difference in your life, right? You can definitely make a difference. And I never
absolutely.
thought I'd be happy again. I never thought I
Yeah,
could smile again, but I was able to. So you can stay on. I'm gonna bring Patty. I could actually have more than one guest here because Patty
okay.
Patty has something here. There's Patty. I can do it like this. Is this better?
Hi,
Or is
Patty.
that's Patty? Yes, I can hear you, Patty. Hi, Patty. You look beautiful.
Well, thank you,
Like
church. No,
always.
no,
So Patty, the last time I had her live, she told me some stuff that she went through as well, Sarah, right? About do you want to
my
talk
son.
about your story as well so Sarah can hear it as well?
Yeah, my son. My story is quite different than Sarah's because it
Okay.
wasn't suicide, or even attempted. It was just a foolish. You're a guy, Roger. When you're 20, you think
Early
you know,
20s, yes.
you
Invincible.
just think you can't. You're invincible, and so he took what he thought was a dare. And it wasn't a dare, and he dived, and he went into 6 feet of water. Long story short, he became a quadriplegic,
Oh,
and now
wow.
he's a caretaker, and he was given 30 days to live if he made it through surgery, which was very slim. But when he did, they gave him 30 days to live if we took him home, and
Right.
even 30 days in a nursing home. And my son said, "Mommy, take me home. You can do it." And I'm not qualified for a nurse, but my son said, "Mommy, your relationship with God is so intense. He'll give you everything you need."
Mhm.
When I left the hospital that day, and my daughter called me like I wasn't even to the corner. And my daughter called and said, "Mommy, why did you leave? Jeremy's passing away." And I had no idea that my son was in there in hospice because nobody told me. So all of a
Mhm.
sudden I had to deal with all of this just like I guess like suicide kind of.
Right.
Um, and it took me a long time to be able to talk about it without crying.
Yeah.
But I have to say, this is going to be 14 years in March. Honey, you never, 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 never get over this. So don't let anybody tell you you need to get over it. It's going to be 14 years. And somebody just told me 2 days ago, don't you think it's time to get over it? There's no
You
time limit on
don't?
grief. There is
No.
no time limit on grief. I don't care if it's your son or your spouse or your parent, if you love that person. But see, God brought somebody back into my life, and that is my best friend from 3rd grade. And
Oh,
she
3rd grade.
yes, for 52
that's
years, we've
amazing.
been best friends. 53.
Wow, I don't even have that. Like a bet besides my
And I
wife and my
have
brother, they're like my best friends.
and I have my best friend from high school. So, we've been friends since we were 15 years old, but my bestie from 3rd grade, it's 12 years old, and I'm gonna be 66 this year.
Wow, you
So
don't even look like that. You look like you're like 35.
oh,
You
yeah,
look
right, Roz.
beautiful.
I will take that.
Yeah.
Um, we'll take that most definitely.
Mhm.
It's, uh, it's always a rough road, but, I have Roger knows I have my own quotes.
She does.
And
Beautiful, beautiful.
it's just whatever. They don't always pertain directly to me. Sometimes somebody will call me and say, "Hey, can you get this message? I know this person reads your page. Could you please get them this message?" And I tell them, "Absolutely."
That's
Um,
beautiful.
Mm,
I feel blessed. Like Roger said, it's a blessing that God just puts these things into my head. My quote today was, I put it on and Roger read it earlier. If yesterday was the worst day of your life, today's a new day. And
Yeah,
mhm.
amen.
you get to, and I also did last year, Roger, we did the affirmation ABCs. This was wonderful because every day people who read my page, they
Yes.
went on there and we did the letter A. And I said I was awesome. Do I believe that? No, but what did we talk about before? If we tell ourselves these positive things
Yep.
often enough,
You're gonna
we'll
start to believe
start to
it.
believe it. Because if we
Yep.
tell our things negative things, we certainly attract
You're
negative
gonna
back
believe
to
that
us. And
too. Exactly, and that's what
yes,
I was telling myself every single day, like, telling myself that I had no life, I hate myself and blah, blah. That's when I realized that that's how powerful your mind is, right?
Yeah,
It's like, when you start to really tell yourself, "No, wait a second, I am awesome, I am amazing, I can do amazing things. Why am I telling myself that I can't do these things?" Right?
right.
Why am I telling myself that I have no life and I'm not and then I was like, "Wait a second, Roger, look at your life. What do you have? What do you have in your life right now? You have kids, your mom's here, you have a great family, you have a house, you have all these beautiful things. Some of the small things, like even a bottle of water, okay, for example, or even when you go outside, you can listen to the birds. Like, do you have your five senses? Can you smell? Can you taste? Yes, I can do that. Can you walk? Yes, I can. Right? Those are the things I started to be way more grateful than I was before. And when you start to become more grateful about the things that you already have, not the things that you want and you don't have because you're still chasing for them, but just look at the simple things in life that you have and start from there. Because that's just gonna allow you to say, you know what? I should love myself. I should really appreciate
right,
what I already have. Right. And it makes such a big
right. And you
difference.
can
Like
find
perspective, right? I was talking about perspective earlier.
if you don't like if you feel like okay, I can't change. I'm in a situation right now. I cannot change it because it's not just me. Um, but I can change my approach to it every day. Instead of
Yeah.
being angry because I feel the way I do inside about it,
Hmm.
I can put a positive quote that lifts somebody up in the morning, and then I get a comment, excuse me,
No,
I
that's
get a
okay.
comment back, and it's somebody telling me, "Thank you. You made a
Oh,
difference
I
in
love
my
that.
day."
I love
And I
hearing
go,
that.
"Just one little thing who am nobody, but I am
No, you are
awesome,
somebody.
I am
Yeah,
beautiful,
you,
caring, I am devoted, I am everything I need to
you,
be." Um,
you are.
and I can tell myself those things. I don't believe all of them, Roger. Sarah, I don't believe all those things. I don't believe I'm awesome
You're
or
starting to, right?
but
You are starting to.
I I do know that I'm caring, I'm
You are.
devoted. So now I'm pulling all of the things I know about myself, and I can look in the mirror and go,
I love you.
I am caring. I am devoted. I am enough. I'm
I
enough.
I
am
love that.
enough.
I am enough.
Yes.
I love
I'm
that. I am enough.
enough. And enough for
Yes.
what? I'm enough for me. And if that ain't enough for you, say la vie. Life's too short,
Yeah.
to hang on to all that baggage. You just gotta I miss my son. Oh my gosh. I cried this morning because I heard the angels waltz in heaven. And
Mm,
it talks about how I would love to waltz with my angel again. And
Mm.
I will
yeah.
one day.
Yep.
Um, but for today, I dance with him in my room, in
Mhm.
my what I call my
Beautiful.
secret place, where I sit and I pray and I write like 20, 30 quotes every day.
Wow,
And
you
I
write more than
post
me.
Yeah.
I do, I'm trying to catch up with you.
Oh, you're trying to catch up with me. Why don't you post your link here at the text so that we can all visit your page after?
It's
Yeah.
just under Patty
Yeah.
Cahill. It's just
Oh,
under my
okay.
name.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't actually have a page. I put them all under Patty Cahill. It was under Patty Owens Cahill, but then
Mhm.
it somehow it got switched over to my old account. So if you can't find me on one, you'll find me on the other.
All right. Where are you
But
from,
yeah,
Patty, again? Where are you from?
from Illinois, right outside Chicago in
Oh,
Joliet.
Chicago. Okay, Chicago. So you're at 7:45 for you right now, right? 7:45.
Yes.
And Vegas, it
Yeah,
is
we're in Joliet.
5:45. Is it 3
Yeah.
hours back? Yeah. I've been to
Yeah.
Vegas a
3
couple
hours.
times. I
Yep.
loved it. I've been to Vegas and I've been to Chicago. So I've been
I
to those
grew up
two
in
Is it
places.
cold there, Sarah?
Yeah, it actually got down to 22 last week. Yeah. So
Oh,
It's
goodness.
minus it's Tracy's still here. Tracy, right? It's like -6, which isn't too
wow.
bad. But
Wow.
Chicago has the same
Oh,
weather as we
yeah.
do, right?
What's
Pretty much. It's just, I need to go back to Las Vegas for sure. I do. I
Yeah.
do. I went there like 3 times already. I was in California and we did a road trip.
Yeah.
Uh, my first time ever driving from like Los Angeles to Vegas, and we were in this convertible, and I was like, "Why don't we just have the roof off?" And the driver was just like, my friend. He's like, "Are you sure?" Right? And then after we got to Las Vegas, I was like, "Oh my gosh, my face was
Yeah,
like."
hurt.
Yeah, it hurt, man. It hurt. And then I was like, okay, next time I'm not opening the roof, man, on my drive to Las Vegas, right? So,
Yeah. Well, I was raised in Vegas, and so I've seen the town turn around several times,
oh,
and
okay.
but I met all these old characters that, like the old sheriff was one of our um I worked in a dry cleaner, so I knew everybody. So like
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't I didn't just have one set of people around me. I had so many different ones, but I think that prepared me for being able to talk to people from all over the world, really.
Yeah.
But for my son, my other son, they're like 6 years apart because it's different marriages. And
Okay.
he came in right after this happened and he sent me this song about his last name's Cahill, but I'm not sure, but it's something about I will be okay, and it talks about him being in the stars. And so what we did is we went out and we would look at the Big Dipper because I'm out in a rural area so you can see the stars really well.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
that has become a thing, as that we look up at the Big Dipper and we talk to my son. And then I
Oh,
looked down
that's
my
good.
leg after that. I have
Yeah.
freckles in the shape of a Big Dipper. And I'm like, who,
Wow. And
just
you just
so
realized that?
yeah, after that happened, I was
Oh
like,
my
okay,
God.
that's so weird. But I know that had my dad not passed away first and then welcomed my son, it would have been a different story. You know,
Right.
I I know that he's safe and he's in good hands. And the thing that I realized about suicide is nobody can talk to you about it unless they've lived through it or they've lost somebody. They don't know what to say, for one
Yeah.
thing.
Hmm.
But this, well, you need to flip a switch and you're okay. No, that's never going to happen,
Yeah.
you know? And so maybe that's what my story is supposed to be, is trying to help people, guide them through this, like the worst day of my life. But I liken it into a box of broken dishes. Nobody can glue that box of broken dishes that's my heart together again. So every
Right.
day I pick up a piece and I go, Lord, can you take care of this for me today? And that's all I can
Definitely.
do, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And then I meet beautiful people like you guys that get it, you totally understand what
Wow.
how hard it has been, because there's
Mm.
nobody to talk to about it. My husband's been here, and bless his heart, he's just like, you just cry all you want, you do whatever, whatever it
Yeah.
takes. So,
Hmm. Well,
You
I'm
got a
glad you had the
family here.
opportunity. You do. Like, we just spoke about that our last live, right, Patty? And it was so
Yes.
loving, and people just like sharing love, and it's that community, right? And I think I said that earlier of this in this live, where sometimes you're at home and you just don't know who to talk to, or you just don't have someone to share what's deep inside. And this
yeah,
is a
Totally,
place
Sarah.
that you can. And I'm so glad that you came on, Sarah, to be able to share that
Yes.
story, because this one story that you are talking about, there's a lot of people that may have be going the same thing as you are and trying to figure out, how am I supposed to move forward, when I have this dark past. And it's just, so thank you so much for sharing your story. And Patty, both of you,
yeah.
sharing your
One
stories,
moment.
right?
Yep.
It's
One
been hard,
moment at
but
a
it's
time.
like, yeah. it's what you do when you realize you're crying and that's all you're doing. Tell yourself, okay, I'm going to allow myself to feel this for 30 seconds today,
Yes.
and then I'm going to move on. Like, so that you've acknowledged it and then you can move on, because you never know what your words are going to help somebody else. And that's what I'm here for. You
Yeah,
know,
you
Yeah.
never
I'm going
know.
to tell my son's story. I might break your heart, but I might become your best friend too, because that's,
Yes,
you know, that's
exactly.
what I want. So,
Yeah.
but,
Gina
and
says, "Do you have a schedule on your lives?" I do now because I'm going to be doing more of my lives. So my Facebook lives are usually on like Fridays and Saturdays, and then I'm trying to do at least one or two YouTube lives because I love it so much. One on the weekend and one in the middle somewhere. So, but usually I'll let you guys know. But I'm definitely going to do more lives because I think these lives, like being people on and sharing the stories. I mean, I used to have one called Inside the Mind of R. I mean, sorry, it was called RLQ with you. So I would bring one person as a guest, right? But I took Inside the Mind of RLQ and I would talk about a quote, and I would just, like what I'm doing tonight is just bring people who feel that this quote relates to them as well. You know, I think this is great for people to say, you know what, I have a story to tell. I have a story to tell. I want people to know about it,
yeah.
right?
How many
Um,
books do you have out? You said you had
oh, my ebooks.
electronic books? Yeah.
Yeah, I have probably 4. One of them is actually being sold on Etsy, my first one, and on my online store. But the free ones, there's like a Christmas edition, a New Year's edition, and most recently my 7,000 subscriber edition. So when this thing is done, you can just go through my page and I mean my channel, and then you'll see it. And there's a link. I think Patty, you downloaded it, right? Have you my ebooks yet?
Yes,
Have you downloaded my?
I
Oh,
think
you have.
so.
Okay.
A couple,
Okay. If you can, you can
2.
always message me, Sarah, and I will send you the direct link if you can't find it.
Okay.
But the video on it is good as well. You know how I like to talk, so I talk a lot
Yeah.
about, stuff like that. Rhonda says losing a child is the most terrible loss a mom can go through, no matter the child's age. Rhonda says I lost my third son when I was 6.5 months pregnant, and part of me died that day also. July 13th will be 19 years.
Wow.
Wow, that
Wow.
is. Yeah, that's a lot to take, and that's 19 years, right?
Yeah.
And how long was yours, Patty? Was it 14
How old was
when your
14?
son
Yes.
14 years, right? So,
It will
that
be
just proves
14 or March 10th.
oh, March 10th, right? So it
March
really
10th.
doesn't matter how long it's been. It will never
No.
go away because it's just something that will never go away, right? But we
Right.
have to remember that. I know it's easy to say and just say that yes, they are in heaven and they're being taken care of, and that we still need to move on with our journey. But we will understand when we go to heaven, right? We're going to understand the whole picture. Like, yes, this is where we're from. You know, Earth is just, and our physical body is this one experience, not one, because I believe we have many lives. We have past lives, and we're going to come back, and then we're going to experience more, so that our soul can kind of like evolve. I think it's all about our soul evolving, right? So sometimes we come back and we take this experience and we learn what we can, and just say if in our past lives we're repeating the same thing over and over again until we actually learn that this is how to change it, how to fix it, right? So that I don't understand the entirety of it, but I believe that this is kind of like how life is, and
Well,
hopefully we all can.
instead of like focusing on, oh, this was so negative and this happened to me and I'm just done,
Mhm.
if you flip the question to what can I learn from this? What
Yes.
what am I supposed to learn from this?
Yep.
It changes everything,
It does.
you
It
know?
does. It's perspective, right? It's like when
Yeah.
I hurt myself 6 months ago, I was like, oh my God, I love working out. Why did I hurt myself? Now I have to start from scratch, But
Yeah.
I look at, and I kept telling myself, there's got to be a lesson out of this. There's got to be like and I kept thinking and kept thinking. And I was just like, it's just telling you that whatever happens, do not give up and keep moving forward, no matter, even if your body, like it heals, right? Are you strong enough? Are you like you're mentally telling yourself, are you strong enough to tell yourself everything's going to be okay? You're going to be fine, right? And that's just teaching you up here, that telling you to remind yourself that yes, even though I'm going through this, things are going to get better, and you can always, keep moving forward. As long as your direction is moving forward, then you're good, right?
Yeah,
And not,
and don't get into the I'm standing still. Everything's in motion, and so if
yeah,
you think you're standing still, you're getting behind. So you
yeah,
have to
you're not
do
moving
something like,
anywhere.
yeah, like for me, I
Right.
blew out my knee on the 15th of December. My husband and I are ballroom dancers, and we've been
Oh
dancing
no!
together for 22 years.
Wow!
He did a
Wow.
ballroom. He was a kind of what do you call it? An amateur. He had training. I had no training. He told me what to do, so
Now
we
you're
did
better
it.
than him.
No, I
Okay.
literally, I he's the only partner I can have because I like close my eyes and we go, and it's the closest thing to
Oh
flying.
wow,
Yeah,
that's
I'm like,
awesome.
yeah, he's awesome. He's a great teacher. But so now I need knee surgery or something.
Yeah,
But my mind is I'm dancing. I every day I post a video and I tell myself I'm
I'm gonna be
going to
there.
dance in 2024, you know? So
Yes, you are. I
that's
know you
yeah,
are.
yeah.
You are.
And we'll post videos when we do. So,
Yeah, please send it to me. I would
yeah.
love to see that.
Wonderful.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
and that's about like you saying that, don't pause. Don't tell yourself that this is it. I'm gonna be stuck, right? Because when you do, then you are going to be stuck. But if you
yep,
right now are telling yourself, I'm going to dance again. By the end of this year, I'm getting up, I'm gonna dance again. You know how much of a difference that is
absolutely.
makes,
Yeah.
right?
That's half the battle. If you can believe you can do it, and
Yeah.
then you get to the point where you've achieved that accomplishment, go and get another one
Yes.
because you won't know what you'll be like. I'm lost. I finally, like this year, we made it on a cruise, and
Wow.
I didn't like now. I'm just like, okay, now what do we do? You know,
Yeah.
we so we became the
Oh, did
ballroom
you decide?
dancers on the cruise. Yeah, it was exciting. So
Oh, wow, that's
yeah,
awesome.
they're like, oh, there's the dancers. There's the dancers. But
Yeah.
the most amazing moment for us was we were in the spa because we got spa rooms, so that was part of the package. And I've
Right.
never been on a cruise. His family paid for it, so it's something that I'll probably never do again. But here's the
At least you
moment that,
experienced it.
yeah, I
You experienced
experienced
it,
it.
right?
So
Yeah.
basically, I wake up, we're on those, those rock beds that they have that you can lay out it's warming rocks.
Oh, right,
I
yeah.
woke up at the same time as the sun was setting, so I saw the sun setting through the window holding my husband's hand. And I did not know,
Wow.
neither one of us were like, well, who held each other's hand first? It was just that beautiful moment that, that was the part where I got to feel joy again for the first time in a long time.
That's
So
amazing.
it'll happen. It'll happen.
Yeah, just
So
as long as you can feel that joy again, that kind of reminds you that, yeah, you know what? I've been happy before. I think I said it on my Instagram today. You've been happy before and you'll be happy again, right? You just need
yeah,
a little taste of what it feels like again, right? To remind yourself that, hey, okay, I want to start feeling I want more of it. I want more of that, right?
yeah, because you're afraid. It's like stepping in the deep end of a swimming pool, you know?
Hmm.
You just have to have enough courage to get there. And
Yes.
then it's like, "Oh, this wasn't a big deal. I can do
Hmm.
this," you know?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Wow. Farhana
so
says it's a
Patty,
keyword. It's negativity. Okay. Pardon?
yeah. Patty, how long have you been doing your quotes?
Um, well, actually, I've been writing for since I was 12, 10 or
Wow.
12. And uh, yeah, my bestie from third grade, when we got back together this year, she said, did you ever publish any of your books? Because some of them are so awesome. And I went, no, they're not really that
No.
good. She goes, well, you gotta do your quotes because they're freaking great. And I was like, yeah, but it's not really, I don't know that it's going to be beneficial to anybody. But and Roger knows, when you get that first page that's, full of positive things back to you saying, thank you so much.
Mhm.
What you said, a lady, actually, Roger, was so awesome. I was
Yes.
in shopping before Christmas,
Mhm.
and this lady came up to me and she was asking me about, she said, "Oh my goodness, you look like Dolly Parton." And I said, my hair was real big that day, and
Right? Yeah.
I just laughed at her. And her daughter came out of the dressing room. Her daughter was like 13 years old. You know, they all have most of them have bad attitudes. I don't want to generalize them. But her daughter came out and she goes, "Oh, oh, mom, you know her? You know her? That's the lady on Facebook." And I went, she goes, "Is that really you?" And I went, "Well, when I looked in the mirror this morning, yeah, it was really me." And she goes, "Could I have your autograph?" And I went,
Wow.
"Yeah." And go away. And she goes,
Oh,
"Mom goes, you do look like Dolly Parton." And I said, "No, it's just the hair." And it's not, I don't. And she
It's
goes,
just that.
"I do." And she goes, "It's the hair and the red lipstick." And I said, and she goes, "And you're so little." And I said, "Well, I lost like a whole nother person recently." So she asked me how I did it, and I gave her my secrets, and they're not
Mhm,
really secrets, but I just told her, you can't eat that one meal a day. You got to eat 3 times, 6 times a day. Eat whenever
mhm.
you can, even if it's just a snack here and a snack there, healthy.
Yes.
But you don't have to just do health food. I eat what I want. If I want an ice cream sandwich, I'm gonna have an ice cream sandwich.
Mhm.
um, I did that when I
yeah.
was losing the weight too, because we have to be so good to ourselves, and
Yeah, we do.
we got to lift each other up. We got to be there for each other. It's so easy to, I see people bad mouthing others, on Facebook. And I think,
Yep.
How could you be so cruel?" But then I pray for that person and think, I hope this does them some good.
Right.
um, but we do. My thing for 2024 is
Mhm.
let's do more
That's great.
spiritual, uplifting, positivity. Let's do more in 2024.
Let's do it. I mean,
Yes,
Yeah.
that's,
Well,
that and go ahead.
I think that the wise is so much on ourselves than
yep,
other people are on us because we expect everything, you put in all the effort and it doesn't go the right way, then we're upset with ourselves. And it's like we gotta just relax and go, okay, Rome wasn't built in a day and it takes
I love
time
that.
to get things done. So yeah.
Yep, it is true. It's almost like when I started writing quotes, I had to tell myself every single day, "Roger, don't give up. Rome wasn't built in a day."
right,
Right? And I gave up,
Yeah.
I think it was less than a year into it. I actually stopped writing for, I think, 3 months because I was just like, I'm not getting anywhere with what I'm doing, right? And then I had to remind myself, "Roger, remember why you started? What is your goal again? Like, don't you have a story to share? Is one of your goals to help as many people as you can? Then keep writing, right? You can't just stop now,
Yeah.
right?" And then I just said, "You know what? I gotta keep going. I gotta keep, like, because it's like you write something and you're hoping that your page would grow, or you're hoping that you like, yeah, at least get more followers, but it was kind of like stuck, right? So it was like
Yeah.
I had like 300 followers at the time, and I would get like 1 or 2 likes here and there, and I was just like, and when it goes on for so long, you kinda tell yourself, "Okay, well, maybe this isn't the thing that I should pursue,"
right.
right? But then I
Yeah.
said, "Roger, do you love doing this?" And I said, "Yes." I'm talking to myself. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, "Do you wanna give up now?" And I was like, "No." Then there's your answer, keep going. So I did, and as I kept writing and pushing myself, and I was getting more comments about people saying, "You know what? This is exactly what I wanted to hear, Roger. You've changed my life so much." And those are the things that that make me feel so happy. It's like I'm doing something great. I think that's something that I really want. I want other people to be happy. I want people to see that they're able to see that rainbow after whatever storm or however long that storm is, and to tell themselves that I want to love my life and I want to be happy, right? So I did, and now it's like, I can't believe my page is at, you guys know, over 1 million. So it's just I'm just
Yeah.
so happy and blessed that I've been able to do what I do, right? So, and Patty, I mean, like, you never know. You can be, you're already helping people already, right, with what you're writing. So, and it makes you feel so amazing, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah,
It's such an
yeah,
amazing thing.
for sure, yes.
And even Sarah, like you telling people about, about your story, and like it makes you feel like there's just something about it that makes you feel so. It's a special tingling feeling inside, that you're doing something amazing to help other people, right?
And somebody needed to hear your story tonight, Sarah.
Yes,
Somebody
totally.
that's gonna watch this later, they needed to hear your story so they know they're not the only one that feels this way.
Mhm.
So
I think
that's
Sarah is Sarah paused? Do you see Sarah's pause screen or hey,
yeah, it's
Patty?
not moving. It's
Oh,
not
Sarah,
moving.
oh, she I think her phone paused. So if she
Yeah, it
does,
might
she could come back.
or it
Yeah,
might have
I
died.
mean, yeah, that's why I think this really I feel, and I hope that, bringing other people on, I always really wanted to do this just to hear other people's stories. Like I hear them through messages and my DMs, and I'm like, you know what? Your story is so valuable to other people. There's got to be some way I can bring you on live to share your story vocally, right? So that people can, and your story as well, Patty, right? So many there's other people when not will watch this video and say, I understand exactly what Patty's going through, and so forth. Does anybody here want to come on live? I'm gonna put the link. Rhonda, would you like to come on live if you're still here?
Mhm.
I'm gonna put the link here one more time. I think um she got disconnected, but we'll see. So it's life is just you just never know what is going to happen to you in the future, but live each day, like live day by day, and I guess the most important thing is try not to bring your past along with you, even though, like, especially when when you've lost someone, that is just something you have to bring along with you, because you can't just say, oh, I'm going to forget about it. I have to forget about them. You can't, right? Oh, Rhonda says not tonight. Okay, that's fine, Rhonda. I just wanted to ask, but remember, anytime, whenever you feel that you're ready, you can come on and we can have a conversation. This is Patty, your third time, right?
Yes, I think so.
It is your
Yeah,
third
yeah.
time. Yes. So, does anybody want to come on? To I know at the beginning it's really like, yeah, it's like, oh, should I? Should I?
Oh, come on, I
You're
was really
welcome.
shy the first time.
You were, right? And then now it's like,
I was so nervous. And now I
but
do
now it's
my
like,
own live video,
yeah. Now,
so
do you actually do you do live streams on your own page, or
I don't do streams, I just hit the live button and I get sometimes I'll get viewers, but it's whenever it kinda hits me to do it, I just get something on my
you like it?
mind and I'm like, "I gotta
Oh,
put that
yeah.
out there, I gotta put it out there in the atmosphere," somebody needs to hear
Exactly.
it.
Just gotta do it. You just gotta do it. For Hana,
And you
would you
mentioned
like
a
to come
rainbow
live?
before.
Pardon?
You mentioned a rainbow before, and when you come
Yes,
to the end of your rainbow, remember the sun's gonna shine.
it will.
The
It will
sun is
shine.
gonna
I'm
it
looking for the real
maybe if you
sunlight this summer.
me too,
But
it's
I'm
cold
picturing it.
here.
I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I know, right? It is. Elizabeth says, when you lose someone, it is something I can't explain. It is. I mean,
Yes,
like,
you can.
my father was just, I didn't have a really like super close relationship with my father because he was working all the time, but I loved him so much. I knew that he loved his family so much, right? And that's why he worked every day, because he wanted his family to be able to live comfortably, right? And that is the love that I saw
Right.
from him. I knew he was a loving father. It wasn't like he would be like, okay, guys, let's go to Disneyland, let's do this and do that. But the way he showed his own love was him working hard, providing for the family, and making sure that we were happy, right? Like, he made all this money, but he never bought himself a car. He never bought himself new clothes. He never bought. The only reason why we moved into a new home was because my mom wanted to, and whatever my mom wanted, my dad would do it. He would, like, literally. My mom was everything to him. Wait, my mom was everything. Yeah. So like, so my dad didn't believe that he had to buy expensive clothes or expensive cars and whatever. He just wanted to make sure that his family was happy, right? And That's why my mom misses him so much, right? But my mom's a warrior. She, she I think one of the biggest things that helped her was her. Tracy says the sun shone today, I think. I think it did for a few seconds. Yeah, it did. It did, Tracy. It did. 'Cause
It
Tracy is
did.
in Toronto too. But my mom does. I think I saw the
Alexa,
change when
it's
she started
Right
when she
now,
started
in
coming.
Toronto, Canada, it's 24 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of 21 degrees.
It's colder here. It's only 18 here. It's 21 there.
Exactly, right? Exactly. That's why I need to go to Vegas. Just kidding. Elizabeth says, I lost my husband in July 27th of 2022. I'm so sorry to hear that. That wasn't even that long ago, right, Elizabeth? It wasn't. And that's again, it took my mom about 3 to 4 years until she was able to move on. But I think what really helped her was her being around us, being around her grandchildren, being around, her family, and remembering that, just spending time with us can remind her that there's still happiness, right? That there is still love that is there for you, right? Even though you're not going to be able to receive it from your husband anymore, but she went to an environment that can provide her with that love to remind her that she can be happy again, right? So she kept herself occupied. She loves to cook. She comes to my house every single day. I mean, she cooked me dinner. It's still waiting for me downstairs. But and she loves cooking for my kids. She just loves, she's always like, "Hey guys, did you eat yet?" Okay, like it's like, so she's amazing. I don't know where I'd be without her, honestly. Like I just don't. So I live not far from Toronto. Yeah, Tracy and I live not too far from each other, so that's why. I was like, I messaged Tracy today and I was like, so I'm going live today. And then she's like, oh, I'm not ready to go on or live. And then I'll make it another day. I'm like, don't worry. You can come on live next show, but I just want you to come and just watch the show. And she's been here since the beginning. Right? You guys are so awesome. You guys are like definitely my regulars here on my lives. And Rhonda and Elizabeth, I hope you guys will be a part of our live shows on YouTube on weekly, because I do really enjoy your company and just being able to speak with you in person and just sharing stories. And I think we all need that, right?
Yes.
Just to be able to speak with each other and see and to prove that there is love and kindness out there, right? I think there are still a lot of people that are saying that this world is very dark place and there's bad people out there, and there are, right? But remember that there are also loving and caring people too as well, right? Kenya says, I would love to, but getting ready to go to work. Wow, you still have to go to work, Kenya. Where are you from, Kenya, again? I work overnight. Oh yeah, she works late. I work overnight, and unfortunately, I'll be leaving soon. One day that I'm off and you're live, I would. Perfect, Kenya. I think we spoke last time, and I think you didn't want to come on at that time. But whenever you're ready, because not everybody is ready to come live, right? Like Rita was one of Patty, you were one of them, and Sai, if she's still here. Yes, I love this. Glad I caught you live. Yes, Rhonda. I mean, my next one is probably going to be on next weekend, right? And then hopefully I'll get you come to live too. Elizabeth says, I am trying to get the nerve up. It's like you're trying to get yourself ready, and then you just press the button and say, what did you do, Patty? Were you just like, I'm just gonna do it?
The first time, yeah, I just was like, well, let me just comb my hair. Nah, just get on it and do it. You are what you are. Who cares?
That's what. Remember last time, Natalie? She was like, she basically was in her pajamas, right? And then her hair was messy. And she just
Yeah.
literally like combed her hair. It just came on, right? That's exactly right.
I did one of those just before I went on. I like pulled my hair and went, all right, good enough.
Good enough, right? Good enough. Let's just do it, man. Let's just do it.
I am who
Kenya's
I
from New
am.
York. Kenya's from New York. Oh, we lost to the New York Knicks yesterday, Kenya. If you're into basketball, it was supposed to be a big game for us. But do you watch basketball, Patty? You're a Chicago Bulls. You watch the Chicago Bulls?
I'm not. I don't really watch TV. Honestly, I don't watch
Okay.
TV.
Well,
If
we
you
lost to
do,
Chicago
I
too.
do
So
like. Well, I do like. My husband's from He went to Syracuse, so that's my college basketball team. I'm a Alabama Roll Tide, Crimson Tide from Alabama.
Oh, okay.
That's my college team. And my pro team is the Dallas Cowboys. My husband is the Bears.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
rivalry.
Football.
Yeah, we have 9 grandkids, and our house is like a torn situation
Oh,
because
wow.
half of them are in your face, Papa, and the other half are like in your face, Grandma.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's what sports can do, right?
Yeah, but
But I love sports, you know. Yeah, I love watching sports.
it's
It takes
mainly
it's
for kids.
yeah, it's beautiful. So wow. All right. So it looks like nobody wants to. Yes, Patty. I love the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, we got Dallas Cowboys here from Rhonda.
Yeah.
I don't watch football. We have CFL, so we have the Toronto Argonauts. We never had an NFL team. I don't think we ever will, but who knows? We might. But so I watch basketball. I used to watch a lot of hockey and a lot of baseball because we have those teams. But I just love basketball. That's my thing. So much like, and yes, I don't watch TV, but love sports. Sports is a great thing. So nobody wants to come on. Okay, well then we're gonna have to save it for next live stream, guys. And yeah, definitely. So I am going to my next live is actually going to be on Facebook, and then after that on the weekend, I'm going to do this again inside Mind of RLQ, so then we can bring guests on again. But I do have a dinner to eat, I think. Wait,
You
Tracy
said
says,
you would do
Tracy,
10 times.
yeah, I remember you were reminding me that my last live, you're like, Roger, just go eat. I was like, yes, I am so hungry right now. Tracy says, Argos are good. My son is taking me to a Leafs game in February. Oh my God. Tracy, I've never been to a live Toronto Maple Leafs game. I know it's I've been to a basketball game and baseball, but I've never been to hockey. I know I should be ashamed, but one day I might. I know. I've never been. It's a hockey town, right? And I've never been to an actual, and I've been watching the Leafs. Like, I don't watch the Leafs as much because I'm watching basketball, but one day I should take my kids there or something, to
Yeah, it's
just a
way more fun
family,
if you
right?
go. It's way more fun
For
if you go
sure.
and you eat
I know
together.
hockey games. Hockey games are definitely exciting, right? Live baseball games, not so much. Like
Violent.
every time I went to a live baseball game, it was just so boring. I love baseball, but just watching it live, because you don't hear the announcers, right? And that's like 3.5 hours there, right? So yeah. Rita
Hockey's
says, I would
great. They
Roger, but putting little one to bed. Next. Okay, Rita. You've seen Rita was here live at one time. Okay,
Look
Rita,
at
I got
Rita.
you. Next time. Yeah, next time we're gonna have Rita, we're gonna have Sai, and we're gonna have Tracy, and hopefully Rhonda, and maybe Elizabeth. We'll have 5. I can
Yeah.
actually have like 5 people online at the same time, but I don't know if that might get too confusing, right? So yeah. So okay, and Sarah, hello, thank you, Roger and Patty. Tracy says, yes, you do at baseball game. My son and I went last summer. Yeah, we have we have a big sports town, so we just haven't won. Well, actually, we won a championship 2019. The Raptors won the 2019 championship, but that's not going to happen for a long time now. So we're just gonna have
Hey,
to
love, you
wait
have
and
to
see.
go eat.
I will. I definitely will. All right. And Trisha says, our Detroit Lions won tonight. Woo! Let's go Detroit Lions. Um,
Yoo-hoo!
oh, I just want to say something about Detroit, Trisha. If you are following the Pistons, they had this losing streak. Okay, it was like the longest losing streak in the NBA, and they played Toronto. Okay, so if Toronto Raptors were going to lose or going to win, wait, was it gonna if they were going to win, they would have extended Detroit Pistons' longest streak to the longest NBA losing streak. But the Toronto Raptors lost to the Detroit Pistons, so the Detroit Pistons weren't known as the longest losing streak. So I'm glad that didn't happen for you, Detroit. But Toronto is
Right.
now known as the team that lost to Detroit. So well, it hasn't been a great year for Toronto. So that's sports. Yes, we lost one of our best players in Siakam, but I think he's in a much happier place now. But let's go sports. Let's go Detroit, Chicago, New York, and Toronto. I don't know where we'd be without sports. So, okay. Thank you again, Patty, for coming. This is I think your third time, right?
Love
I
you.
think your third
Yep.
time. I love you so much. And I'll check your page to check out your quotes again. and to see how they are. But I'm so glad that you're doing that on a daily basis and you're helping people's lives. And you know, it's such an amazing thing. And thank you everyone here for staying. I mean, you guys have been here since the beginning, watching almost 2 hours, guys. You guys have been here for almost 2 hours, right? So I will eat dinner. Tracy's reminding me. So everybody, thank you so much for showing up, coming live, and I'll catch you on my next live on Facebook, right? And enjoy the new week. The new week is coming. I know some people hate Mondays, but again, like we've been talking today, you know, every day is a new day, and just be grateful for that day to experience it, and don't forget to work on you, because you are very, very important. You. All right. So good night, everybody. I will catch you on the next live. Thank you so much again. Mwah, 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 mwah. Good night, guys. Love you guys so much. Bye. See you next live. I will. I definitely will. Love you so much. Bye.